Peter Harrison, father and trainer of Scott Harrison, and manager Frank Maloney alongside Scott as he makes his way to the ring for his 10th world title fight. He's won 7 of the 9 so far, lost to Manuel Medina, a draw against Victor Polo at the beginning of the year, but he came back brilliantly in summer, stopping Michael Brodie in Manchester, and now aiming to keep the title once again. He's a man who his father Peter says you would want in the trenches alongside you. In other words, he is absolutely as brave as they come. And Harrison, at the age of 28, here tonight in his 29th professional fight, he will have rehydrated, he'll be strong, he'll be determined, and he will want to keep that prized WBO belt.
Ladies and gentlemen, could you please be upstanding for both of the national anthems? Please pay due respect for the national anthem of Australia. As we invite to give his unique interpretation of the Flower of Scotland, the wonderfully talented young man from the Braehead Symphony Orchestra, Mr. Davy Haggerty.
Come on, Braehead, let's give us a hand here. Oh, flower of Scotland, when will we see you like again? That fought and died for your wee bit hill and glen, and stood against me. But it was army and sent him homewards to think again. Those days have passed now, and in the past we must remain, for we can still rise now and be a nation again and stood against him. But it was army and sent him homewards to think again. Good luck, Scott.
Ladies and gentlemen, the unique vocal talent of Davy Haggerty. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Braehead Arena here in this fabulous city of Glasgow, Scotland. Tonight, Frank Warren's Sports Network, in association with the News of the World, Big on Boxing, and on the internet with www.frankwarren.tv, proudly present 12 3-minute rounds of boxing for the WBO Featherweight Championship of the World. Welcome to you, the viewers, watching live and exclusive on ITV4. The officials have been appointed by the World Boxing Organization and the British Boxing Board of Control. Chairman for the board, Mr. Charles Giles. WBO Supervisor is Mr. Richard DeCure. British Boxing Board of Control Steward in charge, Bernard Connolly. Timekeeper at the bell, Mr. Ricky Gilmore. The 3 scoring judges at ringside are Roy Francis from England, Manuel Oliver Palomo from Spain, and Andre van Groetenbroer from Belgium. Finally, when the action commences, the star referee in charge of the action, taking part in his 125th world title contest, a warm Scottish welcome, please, for Mr. Paul Thomas from Derby. And so, people of Glasgow, Scotland, and viewers watching on ITV4 from the Braehead Arena, this is the Big Fight Live! Introducing to you, firstly, the challenger, boxing out of the red corner, wearing the black coloured shorts trimmed with red. At the weigh-in yesterday, he scaled 8 stones, 13.5 pounds. He has an outstanding record consisting of 41 contests, 39 wins, 25 of those wins coming by way of knockout with only 2 defeats. Presenting from Sydney, Australia, Nedal Hussein. And opposing him, boxing out of the blue corner, wearing the solid black shorts trimmed with gold. At the weigh-in yesterday, he scaled on the championship limit of 9 stones exactly. He also has an excellent record. Reading this evening, 28 contests, 24 wins. 14 of those wins coming by way of knockout, only 2 defeats and 2 draws. Tonight, making the 6th defense of his championship, presenting the 2-time WBO Featherweight Champion of the world from Cambuslang in Scotland, Scott, the real McCoy Harrison. Referee, Mr. Paul Thomas, with his final instructions. 12 rounds.
Okay, fellas, we've gone through everything. Let me just tell you what I'll just go over some of the second time. Keep your shots in the target area. Nothing around the back, nothing in the kidneys. And very importantly, remember to defend yourselves at all times, unless you hear me shout, stop boxing. Okay? Best of luck to both of you.
You see the 2 men head-to-head. Nedal Hussein, slightly the taller, at around about 5'9". Scott Harrison with those piercing blue eyes, fixing Hussein with the most hurtful of stares as they stood nose to nose. Hussein can bang, he can punch, the left hook's the danger shot. Harrison, in so many of his fights, has just tried to walk through his opponent. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Hussein is a man who we reckon is somebody who certainly commands respect. He can box a bit, and he can certainly fire in hurtful shots, particularly with that left hand. Harrison sometimes has tended to negate the opportunity to box his way into fights, and instead has just bludgeoned his way through. And straight away, a few words for the Hussein corner. Brother Billy, who's acting as trainer, he's joint trainer actually with Jeff Fennick, the Australian legend. Fennick, though, hasn't made the trip. He's preparing another of his fighters for a big contest, and a good start from Harrison, and he's landed some good hurtful shots in that opening exchange there.
Yeah, Harrison's got out of starting blocks nice and fast. Hussein's got a very slightly subdued look about him. You know, I don't know whether obviously he's just having a look at Harrison just to see what he's got. Harrison's just got to be a little bit cautious. However, he's done exactly the right thing, and he's firing lots of shots.
Hussein didn't really get out of the starting blocks against Oscar Larios last year, but blamed weight-making difficulties for that one, fighting at the lighter super bantamweight limit. But Harrison is going looking for him from the word go here, and he's finding the target, and he's not finding Hussein particularly elusive. Hussein, 27 years old, actually a year younger than Harrison. He's had more fights, more professional fights, and no stranger to these shores. Beat Brian Carr back on points back in 2000 to win the Commonwealth title, and came over here and ended the career of Delroy Price. So he knows all about fighting out of Britain, but Harrison has started well. Good body shots.
Well, this boy is saying his style is tailor-made for Harrison. You know, he's not a clever counter-punching boxer. He's flat-footed. He's a puncher like Harrison. So this is going to warm up and develop into quite an exciting encounter.
Good uppercut from Hussein. That's his best punch of the fight so far. There's a good sneak right uppercut inside, and he gets a little bit untidy, and Paul Thomas is going to have a word with them. Come on, boys, let's tidy this one up. And Harrison, I think, was a little bit on the receiving end there, and showed that he is not prepared to be messed about by Hussein.
Hussein's got a nice high guard, so Harrison's going to have to break it down. It's not very often you see Scott Harrison out-jabbing anybody, but he's doing a good job tonight.
Well, he started well. Hussein is not a particularly fleet-footed sort of individual, is he? It's been Manuel Medina who inflicted that defeat, which cost him his title a couple of years ago, subsequently reversed. And then at the beginning of the year, there was the draw against Victor Polo. Some people felt Harrison was a bit lucky there, and a good right hand there from Harrison. And Hussein momentarily wanted to hold on, and Harrison, for me, has emphatically taken the opening round.
Yeah, Harrison's been nice and aggressive.
Harrison started well, but he's already marking up a little bit after one round, and there was a good old-fashioned exchange, and Harrison was piling on the pressure. Referee Paul Thomas had to intervene at one stage and tell him to tidy up the work, but Harrison certainly winning the opening round, Duke.
Yeah, he certainly won the opening round, but he knows he's in a fight. You know, Hussein's been told to work the body. He's got a trademark left hook, come uppercut, he throws to the body, so we have to look out from that. Harrison has been hurt from body shots before in previous fights.
Hussein looking to bring up the uppercuts as well. That's a clear tactic which he's trying to bring in. He's trying to work Harrison through the middle. Harrison so often has tended to get a little bit hook happy in his recent fights. Good shot though, that from Harrison. Hussein has been sparring in his preparations in Las Vegas with Steve Forbes, whose style mimics, well, certainly to a degree, that of Harrison.
Harrison just giving Hussein a little bit too much room there, just a pot shot with that jab. He needs to flick his jab because, okay, it might not be the best in the world, but he used to use it as a nuisance value to work his way in behind the right hand.
Scott Harrison's been a featherweight, Duke, now since he was 15 years old, and my one continuing worry about him is that he does have to battle so hard to make the 9-stone limit. He's obviously rehydrated and will be a lot stronger than he was at yesterday's weigh-in, but surely those punishing training regimes will ultimately take their toll, and he'll one day go to the well and find that it's dry.
Absolutely, he must be the biggest featherweight I've seen in my life. For 9 stone, you know, I mean, we know he boils down from something like 11 stone to make the 9-stone limit.
Oh, good right hand from Hussein, and Harrison felt that one.
He certainly did, just walked straight onto it as I was making that point about the making the weight. But he fights back every time. He's a real gritty, dogged champion.
Now, nobody could ever question the fighting heart of Scott Harrison. Another uppercut inside from Hussein as Harrison comes in, flowing flurries of punches, but there are warning signs here. He's been picked off a couple of times in this round. Maybe the aggression is doing enough for Harrison, but Hussein has thrown some quality punches, and another one turned the right hand beautifully and caught Harrison as he came in trying to throw that left hook. And there's Hussein with a little bit of showboating, saying, well, if that's all you've got, I've got nothing to worry about. And Hussein is starting to grow in confidence. Good body shot.
Yeah, there is a definite air of confidence with Hussein's work. You know, he's dropping his hands, particularly his left hand, very, very low, which will tell you just how confident he is. Now, Harrison's trying to make this fight ugly. He's trying to maul him and muscle him, which is what he's got to do. He's got to take this boy right out of his stride.
There are warning signs in this second round that it might not be the easy fight that some people have suspected, and Hussein is finishing the second round strongly. Harrison has been the aggressor, but quality shots coming in from Hussein.
From the creator of Lethal Weapon, Robert Downey Jr.
Hook as well. See when he puts his feet in that.
Harrison with a smear of grease over that left eye, but he's got a cut up around the hairline, the scalp over his right eye. But there were some really solid shots coming from Hussein in that round. Warning signs, Duke.
Absolutely. You know, Harrison's just presenting too much of a target for Hussein. He just allowed him to tee off there. Okay, this is a boxing match and you're going to expect to get hit. But I'd just like to see just a little bit of lateral movement from Harrison. You know, he likes to just walk in a straight line and come out in exactly the same way. And that's playing into Hussein's hands.
Harrison struggled desperately, I reckon, to make the weights yesterday. And we are told, weighed 10 stone 6 as he came in, and Harrison beckoning Hussein forward, saying, come on, let's make this one a tear-up. I'm ready for you. If you want to mix it, I'm there for you, boy.
Another hurtful body shot by Hussein. I mean, he's doing the right thing. He's trying to close him down. But obviously there's a price to pay every time he takes that step in.
There are occasions when Harrison's looked a little bit susceptible to the body attacks in the past. Victor Polo caught him with 1 or 2. Medina certainly did. And of course, if he has struggled, and warnings from the referee about the head clashes, and that's the second time that Paul Thomas has asked them to tidy it up. But if Harrison is tight at the weight, and we know he is, then the body shot clearly is a tactic.
It certainly is, and you know that's not a good sign that Harrison's actually complaining to the referee about a low blow or an infringement with the head from Hussein.
Go forward, Skinny, they implore Hussein from the Australian's corner, a few feet away from us, and Hussein just caught by a left hand, but a terrific uppercut inside from Hussein, and Harrison momentarily there wants to hold on. Great right uppercut, Duke.
Yeah, he's got a hold on that. That shot went right through the guard. Hussein's really fancies this shot, but coming back Harrison now with his fighting heart and spirit.
Well, Hussein is kidding and trying to get Harrison to come in. He's feigning tiredness, and he's not tired. Hussein clearly fancies this one and fancies it a great deal. Is this going to be an upset? Third round. And Hussein is, from body language, looking like the controlling influence in that ring at the moment.
Yeah, but can he keep it up? That's the thing. I mean, Harrison again complaining he's not that happy in there, but he's still winning the round. That's a better shot.
Decent shot. It had a sort of a round arm look to it, though, and Hussein coming back, firing in heavy shots of his own. Now, is Harrison doing enough to edge this one with the judges? I wonder.
The hurtful punches have come from Hussein, and Hussein's doing little things now which would suggest he's counter-punching Harrison with good effect.
Hussein catches a right hand as he drops his gloves low. Well, it's a close round, this one, Duke.
Yeah, there's not a lot in it. Whoever lands Italian punches over these closing seconds will nick the round on my card.
A little bit untidy. The way Harrison fights, it's always likely to be tough.
Toshiba Cosmio F20.
You're the man, you're the world champion here.
Great.
Well, that was a terrific uppercut from Hussein, and Harrison felt that one down to his boots. He's cut now slightly across the bridge of his nose. Harrison is once more in a tough fight. He seems to have been in an awful lot of them in his reign over 2 periods as world featherweight champion. Good right hand from Harrison, and the crowd imploring him to come forward. And his cornerman, his father, was saying, be the boss in there, bully him, work him.
He has to do exactly that, because if he gives this boy too much range and distance, he gets picked off. So Hussein is trying to, you know, get through the rounds, obviously get Harrison into the later rounds where it can be more effective. He's hoping that the pace will slow. However, Harrison's onto his game plan and is up to his ante.
All those weeks training in Fort William, as you saw before the fight began. Training with that 50-pound weight on his back, that develops endurance for Harrison, but he's got problems about more than just fitness in there. This fella can box and he can punch. Hussein, born in Lebanon, now fighting out of Sydney. Right hand from Harrison, landed pretty well flush, but Hussein took it well.
Not a particularly hard-fought pace. This pace will suit the challenger more than the champion.
Well, Harrison allowing his work rate to drop a little in this round, in this 4th round.
Well, Hussein's come all the way from Australia. He's come far, far away, you know, and his body clock wouldn't have adjusted fully in a 9-day period. However, so Harrison really needs to push him and push him hard, break down his defences.
Been some good Australian featherweights in the past. Jeff Fennick, of course, notable among them, but going further back, those fans with longer memories will remember Johnny Famersham back in 1969, winning the world title in London. Is Hussein about to become another one? Harrison and his army of fans here at the Braehead Arena will hope very much that that is not about to become the case. Harrison trying to jab his way in. And Frank Maloney, his manager, grumbling to the referee about use of Hussein's head and how he ducked low and lifted Harrison up under his outstretched arm.
Harrison just needs to step in just a little bit closer where he can land these kind of punches.
Good
That's
body
better
shots,
work.
those two good body shots, and a good solid right hand as well. And Hussein was hurt a little by those. He wanted to hold on.
Harrison must have heard what I said. As I said, that he took that step in and landed some good punches, hurtful punches.
This is better from Harrison. Oh, a good left hook. And Hussein staggered by that one, sweeping left hook. And now Hussein has to dig deep himself. He needs to cover up and work his way through to the bell to end this fourth round. Big one for Harrison.
Are you going to help?
What's this?
It's our new set top.
A little bit of an air of panic in the Hussein corner, and well, there might have been. It all started by that sweeping left hook, and the attack continued after that.
Yeah, he went out in a straight line. Harrison caught with a lovely, as you said, sweeping left hook.
Well, Harrison, after a rocky third round, has got a rocky second round rather, has got right back on his game now, and that was a big fourth. And it looks to me as though it's body shots which are beginning to break up Nedal Hussein. The Australian now has got to find the resolve to rally from this position, as Harrison will come on strong again. He's trying to just walk straight through him now and develop a sustained attack.
But what Harrison's going to be very careful of is that he doesn't punch himself out. You know, he's threw plenty of shots in that little combination that he threw. But, you know, Hussein might just be trying to let him to punch himself out and then start his attack.
Was supposed to have defended his title last month, Scott Harrison. 4 extra weeks of training because of a ligament injury to his right arm. Maybe has helped him develop a greater fitness than he would otherwise have had. Certainly that's what his manager Frank Maloney would have us believe.
Both boxers landing hurtful jabs there.
Hussein allowing himself to be pushed back, and his corner, his brother Billy, was frantically telling him, you've got to try and put Harrison onto the back foot. Well, many a man has found that it is not an easy thing to do, because Harrison, for a featherweight, if nothing else, is tremendously physically strong. And look at the size of his torso, look at the size of his chest for a featherweight. He is a big man.
He certainly is, but he's boxing with real urgency now as Harrison, really trying to push and force the pace of this fight.
Hussein has not been able to deliver the body punches over the last couple of rounds that he was doing earlier in the fight. And Harrison will not take a backward step.
Yeah, Hussein's work rate has definitely dropped off. So, you know, that will suit the champion. That will give Harrison the time he needs to get into punching range and to land them big right hands.
12 rounds, the championship limit in the closing stages of the 5th. Oh, and down goes Hussein. He's angry with himself, caught by a right hand, and he doesn't look as though he fancies too much more of this. He's up on his feet, he's telling Paul Thomas that he's okay, that he can continue, but now can Scott Harrison finish his man off? Hussein said that Harrison is not a big puncher. Well, we'll see now. Couple Harrison has to take off the ropes.
That was a strange knockdown because Harrison just sort of running behind straight punches in a straight line, caught the boy flush, and he just went down.
Well, Harrison has maybe just punched himself out a little bit with that attack, and he's having to bide his time. I think Hussein's going to see it through to the bell, and he does, but that is a big round to Scott Harrison. That will be 10-8, and for a moment, it looked as though Hussein was not going to get up. Let's get into the corner and find just what's happening.
Your legs got tangled up. Skinny, please understand me now.
They're saying his legs got tangled up. Well, was that more of a slip than a punch?
Now look at it again. He lands with the right hand. Watch the right hand come through now.
And Harrison went in there trying to really take him out after that. He had to take a couple as he did so, but that was a big round for the champion. Let's have another close look at the knockdown.
He does a double jab and a right misses with that. It's actually a jab that puts him down. It's just straight left, just clips him.
Yeah, maybe he was off balance in the first place. Certainly they think that he just fell over his own feet. Nevertheless, though, it's going to score 10-8, and that puts Harrison way in front in this fight now. So into the 6th. And I've only given Nedal Hussein 1 round so far, the 2nd. Would you agree with that, Duke?
Well, I've actually given him just a share of the 3rd round.
Well, Harrison is going looking for him again. He's head-shotting a bit, pot-shotting at the head of Hussein.
Yeah, Harrison's just got to jump straight on him. You know, if that was a legitimate knockdown, which I believe it was, you know, that 60 seconds may have not been enough for Hussein to recover. Just got to get straight on him now.
Scott Harrison in the 6th round. Looks as though he's on course to retaining his WBO title now, but Hussein is a banger. Right hand again from Harrison, just a moment, momentarily. Looked as though it stunned Hussein and got a little bit of a response from the Harrison corner. Watching intently his father Peter, who's been alongside him throughout his career, a good fighter in his own right years ago.
Yeah, these are good jabs from Hussein. Harrison just giving him too much room. Needs to close him down quicker. Nullify that jab.
They put in a terrific effort in the 5th round, and he's just, I think, perhaps just taking a little bit of a breather in the opening stages of the 6th, and no surprise that he's not quite been able to maintain the intensity of the action in the 5th. Cheers from the crowd as Harrison tries to unload and Hussein ducks low, but I thought he slipped inside those there. I think the bulk of the applause came from the bleachers.
Good body shots from Harrison. These are hurtful shots.
Hussein came back well himself though and threw a couple of good hooks off the ropes.
Hussein's not winning these rounds though.
Oh, that's a good right hand in there. There was a right hook to the body and a right hand from Hussein, and Harrison had to take the headshot. Again, Paul Thomas says clean up the action.
Well, no, we got a lot of complaining from Harrison, not really that happy.
This is very much the spiritual home of Scott Harrison. 9 of his 10 championship fights have been here. Hussein trying to kid Harrison in, dropping his gloves low. Harrison, too much of an old pro to be suckered in by that one.
Well, Hussein's not winning the round. You know, he can showboat all he wants, but he's not winning the round.
Well, up on his toes and trying to show a fleet-footed approach, but he's not actually doing a great deal, is he?
No, he's just trying to look busy doing nothing, and it's not going to. That's not going to catch the judge's eyes. If he's going to do that, he's got to be able to back it up.
And we reach the midway stage with Harrison winning the fight.
Toshiba Cosmio F20-136 with Intel Centrino mobile technology.
Has Harrison gone through the storm? He had some problems earlier in the fight, but we've got him well in control, Duke. You've got him 6 points ahead.
Absolutely, you know, there was a 10-8 round, obviously, with the knockdown. He's won everything in my book. You know, we've got 1 round as a draw.
But Hussein is still in there, and he is a man who has got 25 stoppage victories in his 39 wins. A couple from Harrison straying low. Referee allowing him to get away with it, but he can punch Hussein. Harrison, though, only down once in his entire professional career, and that's quite a while ago as well. Went down against the Ghanaian Smith Adoum.
That's good work from the champion, it really is. Treble jab, right hand, left hook, good combination.
Hussein trying to vary his attack, trying to command the respect of Harrison. But it's really not happening, is it?
No, he looks a little bit lethargic now, where he's being ground down. You know, and as he drops his hands and starts bouncing around on his toes, that's going to play into the champion's hands, because as the rounds progress, the legs get more tired, the pace drops even more so the champion can grind him down even more. You know, Harrison's got this guy's number as we speak.
Harrison just picked off by a little right hand as he came in close. Hussein trying to show that he's a mover, getting up on his toes, but in fact a lot of that motion is just bouncing up and down on the spot. There's not a huge amount of lateral movement, and that's where Harrison's had problems in the past. You get a sneaky sort of rangy fighter like Manuel Medina, that's when the trouble's in, and Hussein isn't doing that.
No, he certainly isn't. He's just standing in front of Harrison now, and he's not going to win any prizes for being the stronger of the two.
Be interesting to hear what the two corners have to say at the end of this round.
Lovely left hook to the body there from Harrison. Have you noticed that there's a definite drop in the pace of the fight now from both boxers?
7th round, and Harrison trying to remain the aggressor. The work rate from both men, as Duke rightly says, is starting to flag, starting to slow. Duke McKenzie, who I ought to remind you is a world champion himself at 3 weights. As indeed, I think, was Jeff Fennick, who's co-trainer of Nedal Hussein.
He certainly was.
Well, 7th round nearing its conclusion, and it's been a scrappy sort of round.
Yeah, both boxers look very tired indeed.
Subdued sort of crowd at the end of that 7th round. Let's eavesdrop in the corner and find out what's happening there.
The straight punches going to pick up.
Get to his edge first.
Going to pick up. Okay. Watch some straight punches here, right? Rest and right. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, keep him busy. The guy's playing for team. He's tired, Scott. I know he's tired. I don't know why he's something. I know. He's wanting to breathe him when he's walking away.
The guy's playing for time, exactly what Duke and I were saying there.
Dan, get plants and move. Or hold him. That's right. Dan, come up when he's side down. Dan, come up. That's when he's hooking you. Stay low. Skinny. Left foot, please keep up. Skinny. Let's not let him back you up the first half minute. The jab's got to go first. Every time you use the jab, he doesn't have no idea. Back him up, champ. Come on. Excellent around Skinny. Look at us tight.
Back him up, champ, is the advice. Well, if he is going to be a champ, a world champ that is, he's going to have to do something pretty sensational in the rounds remaining in this contest.
Well, he has the power to do something sensational. It's whether or not Harrison will allow him to do that.
Harrison looks pretty much in control to me, Duke, unless he gets careless.
Yeah, he's bossing the fight. Every now and again, obviously, he takes a shot. And what you're seeing here from Hussein is this could be his last hurrah, his last ditched effort to unravel the champion, to see if he can make him come apart at the seams.
Well, it did suggest, whether it was a word of disparaging bravado or not, but he did suggest that if he couldn't find the way to beat Harrison, who he said he didn't really rate, then he'd quit the sport. Harrison took that as an indication that he wasn't too confident.
Well, you know, when boxers start talking about retiring when they're going into a world championship fight, it's not a good sign. So, you know, Harrison does have the tools to break this boy's spirit and grind him down to an emphatic points victory, if not a late stoppage. Good right hand from Harrison.
Hussein not really doing too much of note now.
Now he's looking for that bingo punch.
I don't think Harrison is going to be so stupid as to allow himself to get suckered in. Complaints from Hussein about use of the head from Harrison. Paul Thomas was having none of it. Perhaps rightly drawing the impression that it was 6 of one and half a dozen of the other.
It is a better round for the challenger.
Yeah, he's just starting to bully his way into it a little bit. He's trying to flail away at the body of Harrison. Clearly the tactic.
Harrison mustn't lose concentration. He's just got to keep this boy, just keep him backed up, because he's allowing himself to be backed up.
Well, if the judges are reading this the same way as we are, Duke, Harrison is a street ahead. And really all he's got to do is just box his way through the remainder of the fight. That's good work from Harrison. closing seconds of the 8th.
Pace of the fight has dropped quite alarmingly yet again.
It has indeed. Well, back they go to the corner, and it wasn't the most engaging of rounds, that one, the 8th. Harrison, the way I'm looking at it, has got to be bossing this fight. Let's have a word with Barry McGuigan. Barry, how do you read it?
I have Harrison 4 rounds ahead. Hussein came back into the fight there, but that could be his last-ditch effort. He's blowing hard, and Harrison is not good backing up. He shouldn't be backing up. He should be trying to bully the champion, keep him under pressure, and just force him back. And he's just got to grind this guy down. There's nothing subtle about what Scott does. It just has to be wear and tear him down, work the jab, and Hussein is using good lateral movement when Harrison's throwing the right hand, but he's moving well. He's got to just step up another gear now, Harrison, put the pressure on.
And not do anything stupid, just don't, for goodness sake, at this stage, having fought well early on, don't get caught.
Absolutely, he's a mile ahead. I've got Harrison winning pretty much everything. I've got a couple of rounds even, then obviously we've got the 10-8 knockdown round, but everything else is in Harrison's favour.
Peter Harrison giving an observation to Paul Thomas that there was no shout of seconds out, I suspect, and didn't much appreciate being bundled out of the ring and being told to get out. Here we go, though. Harrison starting fast in the 9th round.
My worry for Harrison is that, he goes in a straight line and he comes out in a straight line. So if Hussein starts to give him more lateral movement and comes in at different angles, he's going to start to find some success.
My worry for Harrison is that if he was dead at the weight, and if he has really struggled, then this is now the area where he's going to start to feel it. This is the last 4 rounds, and this is now the time, if he's struggling, when he will show those signs. Good right hook, though, as I said that.
Yeah, certainly you would feel that, but Hussein hasn't showed anything to this point. He can fight at pace.
No, he is a bit one-paced as a fighter, isn't he?
Absolutely, one-paced and one-dimensional.
Hussein's corner right in front of us, imploring their man to jab his way in, which he duly does, but having landed the jab, there's nothing following up. They feel that Harrison's work rate is dropping and that he's providing a more static target now.
Well, both the boxers' work rate is dropping, but Harrison's still winning these rounds. And Hussein doesn't appear to be able to up his work rate. So, Harrison's still going to be just on top.
Good uppercut inside, though, from Hussein, as you said, that Duke. And momentarily, Harrison wanted to just hold on. Oh, good shot from Harrison, though. Responded with interest. And another right hand as well. And this is good work once more from Harrison, who senses the tiredness of his opponent.
Harrison just needs to shorten his punches on the inside. He's coming through with hooks and uppercuts, but they're too long and missing the target.
Hussein himself is also looking desperately tired as Harrison backed off from that attack, realising that his man just wasn't there to be taken.
Harrison mustn't get suckered in because this boy is desperate now. He knows he's a mile behind and he can only throw single punches at any given time, so Harrison's a mile ahead, mustn't get sloppy.
Hussein once again complaining to referee Paul Thomas about Harrison. Subdued sort of crowd here. It's absolutely packed to the rafters, is the Braehead Arena. First time it's been full in my memory, I think, since Wayne McCullough was here a couple of years ago, and that was one of Scott Harrison's best performances. This has not been vintage Harrison, but he's still ahead. Must be winning this fight, surely.
He certainly is. I give that round to him yet again.
Shouldn't be in there at any time. You're not comfortable.
Here's some of the action from that 9th round. Harrison, oh, good uppercut that was. He'd taken one himself, but it rocked back the head of Hussein and continued working away impressively on the ropes.
Yeah, this was Harrison's best attack throughout the round. Just kept him pinned against the ropes.
All look nice and calm and cool and collected in that corner, don't they? Not too many signs of worry.
Their boy's not in any trouble. He's a mile ahead. He's not taking anything too bad. He's not taking any punishment, hardly whatsoever.
They're looking worried there. They know this fight is slipping away. Nedal Hussein, who's challenged for a world title before last year against Oscar Larios, found that it was too much there. Froze a little in that contest. It was on the undercard of the Braehead-Morales fight. Didn't do himself justice, and here again tonight, I suspect that he will come out of this at the end of the contest if he sees it to the distance, feeling that he could and should have offered more than he has. Good uppercut, though.
Yeah, it was a good uppercut from Hussein there. Harrison needs to shorten his punches, as I said earlier, on the inside. He's trying a little cluster of punches, but they're not short enough. He's got to just pull the punches closer to his chest as he brings the uppercuts in and just bring the elbow around with the hooks.
Hussein trying to box his way in, and Harrison is being picked off. Harrison flagging again. Is the pace slowing once more from the champion? Long way in front on our cards, remember.
But this is where a bit of imagination of Scott Harrison would come into play. If you can show the boy a jab and then step across, come back a right hand, left hook, just create a different angle. He's going in a straight line and meeting him exactly right at that point.
Oh, good right hand from Harrison. He's landed a couple in this round. Hussein's taken them well, to give him credit. And he's trying to plant his feet and dig in that left hook.
See, Harrison could almost go on the counter-punching mode and still win the fight. He doesn't have to force the fight because he's a mile ahead. Doesn't have to walk onto silly punches like that.
Straightforward for Harrison, this one, pretty much. It's not been one of his hardest nights. Had one or two rocky moments early on, but Harrison has really bossed most of this one, at least to my way of looking at it.
Yeah, the rounds have become quite repetitious now. You know, we've had Harrison, he starts fast, dies a little bit in the middle, and then just tries to pick up the pace towards the end of the round. And Hussein is just constantly on the receiving end.
His corner men are suggesting he's had a few moments of his own. There was a right hand from Hussein did it, and the left hook into the body, and Harrison wants to hold on all of a sudden. He was caught by a right hand, and I don't think he saw it coming, and that was what stunned him.
Just this moment lapse of concentration could have cost him dearly.
He's muttered to himself, come on, as he went in, and I think he's ridden out the storm, or has he? Hussein, right there in his face, will surely have instantly sensed that he stunned his man. Certainly the corner realised that.
Well, this would be, if Hussein could pull this off, it would be like the Great Escape.
Well, it almost looked like a nothing punch, didn't it? And Harrison goes back to his corner, shaking his head, and he's angry with himself to have got caught by that one. The punch looked like nothing, but he didn't see it coming, and he was wobbled, no question.
You're punching, Scott. Why don't you just punch it through the centre? Okay. He's got to hold, he's got to do that. I told you, people want to get held in the line.
Well, the left hook into the body as well. And Harrison, for a moment there, was in very dodgy territory.
I mean, you're winning the fight. Okay, not too good, don't you?
Nice long 1-2, Scott Harrison.
Don't run. Hold your ground and move.
Give it distance and punch.
Don't run.
Skinny, if you guys had 1-2, the last one.
Throw it together. No, you're not missing. You're not throwing it.
Position. You're not Skinny. Hey, if we're going to dip from here, the right up.
Well, you've got it by 6 there, Duke. I've got it a little bit closer than that one.
Well, you know, Hussein's not doing enough. You know, I would give him that last round because he's got a good shot, telling punch. But, you know, Harrison's just winning everything out of sight. The pace suits him, obviously. Neither boxer can sustain a hard-fought pace, but what we're going to see now, I think, from Hussein is a big effort because he knows he can get through.
They're telling him between rounds he's tired. Get in there, back him up, and force the fight.
Well, perhaps Harrison is tired, and we're about to find out just how tired.
Harrison is a brave, proud champion. He's shown that repeatedly over the last 3 years, since he won the title from Julio Pablo Chacon. He's had his terrific nights. He's had nights when he's looked a little bit indifferent, and here he has done enough. But he doesn't want to get caught again like he did in the 10th, and has been stung again by that little chopping left hook, and suddenly the Australian corner looking very agitated again as they sense a weakness in the champion.
Well, Harrison's just allowing himself just to be hit just a little bit too cleanly. You know, he's put a hell of a lot of work into these rounds, and it's brought this boy back to life almost. He's
gulping in the air, Duke, is Scott Harrison. He's feeling it, and he's starting to be caught. Another good left hand from Hussein.
I mean, it's no wonder Hussein's got this sort of energy left. He's done absolutely nothing for several of the rounds previously, and now all of a sudden he can see the finish line, so he's sprung to life. Champion's just got to keep his chin tucked right down into his chest, pop away at his jab until he can clear his head and get himself back into a commanding lead.
Well, Hussein is winning this 11th round, but Harrison is hanging on in there. He's having to dig deep, show his fighting heart. And Hussein just needs to find more urgency if he's going to finish Harrison. And Harrison, again, is tagged by the right hand and once more wants to hold on.
He certainly does. You know, and there are bigger challenges out there for Scott Harrison, but he needs to secure a victory and not throw away a landslide points. Oh, walked onto a big shot there. Hurt with the right hand, Harrison. And the uppercut. Oh, no.
Harrison again is in dangerous territory. The legs stiffened by those two left hands. Back goes Hussein. Was that showboating, or was he genuinely caught? And Hussein is trying to finish Harrison. Harrison senses that he too could stop the Australian challenger, and dramatic moments in the last 11 rounds, in the last minutes, last seconds of the 11th round, as the referee momentarily looked as though he lost control of that exchange. And here comes the bell to end the 11th, and a dramatic round it has been as well. Well, Harrison has been rocked, stunned badly in that 11th round. Big round for Hussein, but Harrison still ahead on the cards.
Push this guy up, you push him with a real like dog thing. Listen,
Hussein catching Harrison with that left uppercut, followed by the left hook. Oh, and he was really wobbled there. He felt those absolutely down to his ankles.
Absolutely, he was all over the place just momentarily. The punches were stopped right flush on the chin from Hussein. Fortunately for Hussein, he's not a good punch picker and wasn't able to finish him off.
Rip, left hook, hey, stay low and let your hands go. We don't want to get knocked down, Skinny. Please, get a knockdown, Skinny. Punch together. Get a knockdown, Don't get hit for nothing, Skinny. Get a knockdown.
Last round. The two fighters being urged to touch gloves by Paul Thomas. They do so. 3 minutes now. Will Harrison be able to box his way through to retain his title?
Well, all Harrison's
it goes the distance, of course. It goes to the judges' scorecards.
Yeah, all Harrison has to do is to stay on his feet to secure the victory. Mile ahead on points. Shouldn't do anything crazy. Doesn't have to get involved in a real punch-up with this kid.
Paul Thomas saying to Harrison, once I've said break, let's not have a hit off the break, which is what happened. Harrison saying that Hussein was right in his face. What else could I do? Because he didn't stop punching. Good shot from Harrison. Has that been the telling blow which has established his dominance once again?
It's Hussein who backs off now quite voluntarily, but he's made Harrison miss with quite a lot of those punches, and there's nothing more tiring than hitting thin air this late in the fight.
Harrison 2 minutes away from retaining his title. At least that's what we believe.
Both boxers really, really tired now, desperately tired.
It's been a tough fight, by no means a classic fight. Ebbed and flowed. Hussein has finished strongly, but Harrison showing that champion's resolve now. is coming forward bravely and trying to catch the judge's eye and made absolutely certain that this belt is going to remain his property once more in his 10th world title contest. But he ships another good right hand from Hussein.
Yeah, nothing but desperation now coming from Hussein. I don't think he's got enough left in the tank now to score the knockout, which he so desperately needs. He's got time, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it.
Harrison was caught by a solid straight left, though, and the attempted right uppercut that followed just whistled past his nose. If that had landed on the button, who knows? Thankfully, mercifully for the Scottish supporters here in Glasgow, it missed, and Harrison holds on.
Well, Harrison's playing into the challenger's hands now by going looking for him with 45 seconds left on the clock. You know, should take a backward step and just use the perimeter of the ring, get through the fight. He's won a landslide points decision.
We will see. Hussein needs to find the knockout blow if he's going to stop Harrison now, and we think that that is the only way in which he's going to seize this title from the Scottish champion. Harrison trying to get in close, trying to not give the space for Hussein to tee off with anything purposeful. Left hook in there, and Harrison had to walk through it. Now, just for the last few seconds of this fight, trying to bully Hussein around the ring. Has it been enough? We will see in a moment or two's time. This is going to go to the referee's scorecards. The Scottish crowd stands and applauds, and Scott Harrison believes he's won it. Hussein's people are celebrating as well. I've got this one a little bit closer than Duke Mackenzie. Boos of the crowd as Hussein is hoisted onto the shoulders of his cornermen, and the cheers of the crowd as Harrison parades around all four corners and waving to them. I've got it right around about 3 points in Harrison's favour. I know you've got it by a little bit more, Duke, but that was a tough night's work for Scott Harrison. He's had to dig deep.
He certainly has had to dig really, really deep.
He's posing for the cameras. He certainly thinks he's won it. And Frank Maloney, his manager, who's been alongside him throughout his career as well. I've been a seasoned Maloney watcher for many a year through the Lennox Lewis days and now through the Scott Harrison days, and you know when Frank's worried. That is a Frank Maloney who knows his man's a winner. They're going to be collating the scores, and in a moment or two the verdict will be announced by our Master of Ceremonies, Michael Pass. These are always anxious moments. Some of the crowd making their way out of the auditorium in the banked seats around here, 6,000 or so of them. They believe that Scott Harrison has done enough, and they're trying to beat the crush of traffic which will be leaving this arena in a few minutes' time. And I think Frank Warren there, the promoter, will be now planning for the next defence, which is likely to be against the man from the Dominican Republic, the man they call the baby Mike Tyson, Joanne Guzman, who's a very talented young fighter, former WBC super bantamweight champion. He's heading for a fight against Scott Harrison at featherweight, and we in a moment I think can get the decision. We're just trying to see if the Master of Ceremonies is ready. I believe he is, and so let's find out how this fight has ended.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are the score totals. Judge Manuel Palomo and Judge Roy Francis are both in agreement, 116 points to 111. And Judge Andre van Groetenbroek scores the contest 117 to 111. The winner by unanimous decision, and still,
he's got it.
WBO Featherweight champion of the world from Canada's land in Scotland, Scott, the real McCoy Harrison.